Today our story is called Edward the Emu by Sheena Knowles, illustrated by Rod Clement. And this story is going to help us review the theme, which is the message of the story. And that's the lesson or what the author wants you to take away after reading this story. And most of the time, it's a very good thing, and we want to apply it to not just this book, but other areas of our life as well. So let's practice finding the theme of Edward the Emu. Edward the Emu was sick of the zoo. There was nowhere to go. There was nothing to do. And compared to the seals that live right next door, well, being an emu was frankly a bore. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from his pen and he laughed as he said, "The seals are best, anybody can tell. So tomorrow I'll be a seal as well." So he's decided he's going to be a seal. The next morning at 9 when they opened the zoo, the seals were swimming, and Edward the Emu was too. He dived in the water and he basked in the sun, and he balanced a ball on his beak just for fun. Well, Edward was really enjoying the day till he overheard someone behind the fence say, "The seals are always amusing, it's true, but the lion's the best thing to see in the zoo." So that night when the zookeeper went to bed, Edward jumped from the pool and he smiled and he said, "The lion is the best, anybody can tell. So tomorrow I'll just be a lion as well." The next morning at 9 when they opened the zoo, the lions were roaring and Edward was too. He snarled at the ladies and growled at the men. Life was certainly grand for a lion in his den. Does he look like a lion? He thinks that's the best now. Look at him laying up on the tree like the lion is. Well, Edward was having a wonderful day, till a man in the crowd had the gumption to say, "The lion's a beast I shall always detest. The snakes are the things that I like to see best." I bet you can figure out what Edward's going to do now. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward crept from the cage and he grinned as he said, "If the snakes are the best things and that's what they say, then tomorrow I'll just be a snake for the day." The next morning at 9 when they opened the zoo, the snakes were all hissing and Edward was too. He slipped around the rocks. It was magic to see. Then he curled himself casually up around a tree. Well, Edward was just warming up from the day when he overheard one of the visitors say, "The snakes are impressive. I know it's true. But the emu's by far the best thing at the zoo." Now Edward has a problem. He's over here in the snake bin. Who's over there where the emu is? Not him. "The emu!" gasped Edward. "My goodness, that's me. I'm the thing that the gentleman most likes to see. Not the seals, the lions, the snakes, and the rest. It's Edward the Emu he likes to see the best." So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward slipped from the cage and he laughed as he said, "If the emu's the best, then that's easy then. Tomorrow I'm gonna be an emu again." Edward ran to the place where he used to reside, but oh, what a shock when he clambered inside. He found himself suddenly come face to face with the emu they'd brought in to take Edward's place. They got somebody new when he was gone. The emus considered each other a while. Then the new emu said with a shy little smile, "Hello, I'm Edwina. It's nice meeting you. You're the best thing I've seen since I've came to the zoo." So let's think about what happened to Edward. Edward wanted to try to be everything else in the zoo because why? Because he was bored and he thought being an emu was a boring thing. So he tried to be a seal, he tried to be a lion, he tried to be a snake. And were those things satisfying to him? No. Everybody kept saying that there was another animal that they liked better. And what ended up happening in the end? Edward decided to be an emu again. So what do you think the theme of this text is? If you think about all the things that happened in the book, what do you think the lesson is that the author wanted us to take away? What's the message? I think the message is it's okay to be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. You're the best you can be. Maybe that's not the theme that you thought about. Maybe you have another idea. That's okay too, because everybody has different schema and they learn different things and they take different things away from the books that they read. But I encourage you just to be you. Have a good day. Bye.